Okay, thank you very much for joining my meeting today. Today I'm going to talk about the 10 worlds. Some members may have heard about it, others may not. But the reason why I talk about these 10 worlds is other than knowing what the 10 worlds are, we have to know how the 10 worlds would relate to our daily life and how we can change the 10 worlds into a better place. So this is the important point that I'm going to make. All right. So talking about the 10 worlds, I remember when I was young, my mother told me that if we do bad things, then when we die, we will go to hell. Or in our next life, we will become an animal. And we had always believed in this. Until one day, a friend was talking to me about Buddhism. And he said, he wasn't practicing Nichiren Buddhism, but he just studied Buddhism. And he said, actually, hell does not exist in life after death. It exists in your own daily life. Well, it makes sense, but I was not sure the meaning behind it. Later on, after I started practicing and studying Nichiren Buddhism, I began to understand what my friend said. From day to day, moment to moment, our state of life is susceptible to change. We may wake up on a Friday morning feeling full of joy at the thought of approaching weekend, only to be thrown into a state of rage in the traffic on the way to work. Arriving late at the office, we tremble at the thought of our boss's disapproval. Then, loaded with unexpected work assignment and the thought of our weekend disappearing under a pile of paperwork, we begin to feel trapped and resentful. But seeing the stress and unhappiness in a colleague, then we offer him encouragement and assistance and begin to feel better ourselves. So you see how our mood swings around during this morning in a couple of hours' time. Buddhism categorizes this seemingly infinite range of life states into 10 inner worlds. Actually, these 10 worlds represent our own life conditions, our own feelings. The concept of the 10 worlds helps us to understand both the changeable nature of our moods and our character. More significantly, it provides us with a sense of great possibility in life at each moment, which means we can change anything we want. Life at each moment manifests one of the 10 worlds. Therefore, it is possible to open up any of these life states, including Buddhahood, at any moment through contact with an external stimulus that enables one to do so. Through examining the 10 worlds, a classification of 10 distinct states of life, we can get a clearer understanding of the power of the Buddhist philosophy of the human condition and gain insight as to how to improve it. Now, please notice that I've emphasized the point of changing and improving. It is to be noted that when learning any Buddhist theories or philosophies, it is important that we know how to apply these theories in our daily lives to help ourselves or others. Or else, these theories are just empty words. They have no meaning. The Lotus Sutra tells us about the possession of the 10 worlds, that each of the 10 worlds possesses the potential of all 10 within itself. Now, it sounds difficult, but I'll give you an example. People in the world of hell can feel joy when some of their wishes come true. That is, even if they are in hell, if they find that they win the lottery and have millions of dollars, then they are happy again. Rather than distinct territories, the 10 worlds are conditions of life that everyone has the potential to experience any time. So let us examine in more detail what these 10 worlds are. The lowest world is called the world of hell. That is the lowest life condition. Hell represents the lowest human condition in which one is bound by agony, completely lacking in freedom. Hell is a state of life in which one feels that living itself is suffering, and that whatever one sees or encounters causes more suffering. We could also say that in the world of hell, we are controlled by destructive impulses, such as suicide or war, which embodies extremes of human misery, and can be considered an expression of the world of hell. Me, for instance, before I started practicing Nichiren Buddhism, I was in hell. I was so unhappy that I didn't know why I have to live. I didn't see the purpose of living. There was no joy at all. Every day when I wake up, it became an agony. So I was in the world of hell. The next lower one is called the world of hunger. The world of hunger is characterized by uncontrollable desires that you cannot control, and the suffering that comes with those desires not being fulfilled. The world of hunger is a condition in which our mind and our body burn with intense craving. In the world of hunger, we are unable to use desires creatively. We are never satisfied. We always want more and more and more and more, and we are never happy. And then we become slaves to them and suffer as a result. Now, a very simple example. If you are in a world of hunger, take me for example. I love eating. I love food. So I try to eat more and more of the things that I like, and what I ended up with, a stomach pain. So this is what the world of hunger, the result that I got from not being controlled, not being able to control my desire for food. The next one is the world of animals. The world of animals or animality is characterized by actions based on immediate gain or loss, rather than reason or logic. When in a state of animality, one acts based on instinct or impulse, unable to distinguish between right and wrong, good and evil. Just think of an animal in the wild. What they would do. If they're hungry, they wouldn't care anything. They would just kill and get whatever they wanted. For them, there's no reason but to survive. This is the animal instinct. Nichiren also writes, "It is the nature of beasts to threaten the weak and fear the strong." This is the animal world. And that the nature of animals is characterized by the need to kill or be killed. In the world of animality, people lack reason and conscience, seeing life as a struggle for survival. Yes, this is what the animals do, is to survive, in which they are willing to harm others to protect themselves. Unable to look beyond the immediate, they cannot plan for the future. Such a state of ignorance ultimately leads to suffering and self-destruction. Human beings all have animal instincts in them. We all have animal instincts in us. We can kill, rob, rape, or do things animals would do. Next is the world of Asuras, 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 Asaulo. An Asura is a contentious god or demon found in Indian mythology. One characteristic of those in this life state is also called anger. There is a strong tendency to compare themselves with and a preoccupation with surpassing others. They always want to be better than the others. When they see themselves as superior to others, then they become arrogant and contemptuous. They are also very self-centered. They only care about themselves, stubborn and opinionated. They harbor jealousy or resentment towards those better than them. People in the condition of Asuras ultimately give rise to suffering, and therefore constitutes, together with hell, hunger, and animality, these four worlds are called the four evil paths. They are the lowest life condition and people in these lower worlds are never happy. Next comes the world of human beings or humanity. The world of human beings or humanity is a condition of composure and tranquility. Nichiren Daishonin says, calmness, Carmness, is the world of human beings. One aspect of the world of humanity is the quality of reason that enables us to distinguish right from wrong and to make judgments based on that distinct. Animals do not have the sense of right or wrong, but we human beings do. In this condition, a person also has a fair degree of self-control. That is, if they are in the world of humanity, then they have self-control. But if they are in the world of animality, no, they don't have the control. To remain in this state of humanity, however, requires effort. It is actually impossible without consistent effort to improve oneself. Moving up from the 4 of the lower worlds, of the 10 worlds, the world of human being is the first in which improving one's condition becomes a possibility. Next comes the world of heaven. In Buddhist philosophy, the world of heavenly beings or heaven refers to a condition of life in which one experiences the joy of having one's desire fulfilled. Thus, Nichiren says, joy is heaven. Human beings experience many kinds of desire. There are fundamental or instinctual desires, such as sleep and food. There are desires for material things as well as social, intellectual, and spiritual desires. In general, we can think of the world of heaven as the condition of joy that we experience when having any of these various desires fulfilled. For example, I just mentioned that if we win the lottery and have got millions of dollars, that is heaven indeed. But the joy associated with the world of heaven is not lasting, because money can disappear, right? It eventually weakens and disappears. If you want to have a very nice partner, and if the partner betrays you, at that time you were in heaven. But if the partner betrays you, then you are in hell. So you do not stay in the world of heaven forever. The world of heaven, therefore, is not the condition of genuine happiness that Buddhism aims to achieve. The 6 worlds above, together referred to as the 6 paths, Paths, describes a state of life easily influenced by external circumstances. Yeah, if somebody hit me, then I'm in the world of assurance because I was very angry, right? If I win the lottery, I'm in the world of heaven. So it's all influenced by external circumstances. The aim of Buddhist practice is to transcend these 6 paths and build a self-determined. Please remember, self-determined. I'm determined to be happy, no matter what. Alright? This self-determined happiness that is uncontrolled by the environment. People in the higher state of life will not be affected by the environment. If it is a rainy day, they say, this is very romantic. And they will not feel sad because it rains, because their condition is very high. The conditions of life a person develops through Buddhist practice are known as the 4 Noble Paths, Noble. The words of these are the world of learning, realization, bodhisattvas, and Buddhas. The world of learning and realization. Learning originally meant those who had achieved a partial awakening through hearing or listening to the Buddha's teaching. In contrast, realization are those who had achieved an awakening on their own through their connection or observation of various happenings in the world. To give you an example, in the Han Dynasty, there was a monk called Lukzhou Hunan Wei Lang. Upon hearing the Diamond Sutra, Gam Gong Ging, he was enlightened. He could be an example of the world of learning because he heard the sutras, the teaching, and then he was enlightened. Now, as for the world of realization, in ancient India, because it's only by giving you an example, then you will know more about what this world means. In ancient India, there was a monk who had no education, no knowledge. He cannot remember a single word that was taught. So Shakyamuni Buddha, in order to help him, asked him to sweep the floors of the temple every day. Diligently, he carried out this work, concentrating on doing his best, day in and day out. By doing his work conscientiously and concentrating fully, he suddenly was awakened to the true concept of life and was enlightened. For example, he can sweep the floor. But then people come around and then the floor is dirty and he has to sweep again and again. And then he realizes that nothing is constant. This is what life is all about. And then he was enlightened. This is an example of realization. He realized it on his own. Now we come to the world of bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are beings who relentlessly exert themselves to gain the enlightenment of Buddha. In addition, bodhisattvas believe that all people can attain Buddhahood and work to spread the Buddha's teaching widely to relieve people's suffering and lead them to happiness. Bodhisattvas are filled with compassion and a strong wish for people's happiness. The world of bodhisattvas is a state of life in which one acts with a sense of mission for the sake of people's happiness and for the law. Compassion is fundamental to this world. Bodhisattvas have a lot of compassion. The Sanskrit term for compassion is translated as loving, kindness, or mercy. It is the nature of bodhisattvas to base their lives and actions upon compassion for all people and to save them from suffering and misery. Practitioners of the Lotus Sutra and of Nichiren Buddhism are called bodhisattvas of the earth, which means that they have the mission to spread the mystic law to help people attain Buddhahood. Bodhisattvas do not want to see people suffer, and when they see people suffer, they will try their best to help and encourage them. And this is what we SGI members do. When we see people suffer, we want to volunteer our effort to encourage them, to discuss with them their problem, and maybe bring some enlightenment to their problems. And this is our mission as SGI members. And I have undertaken this mission ever since I started this practice 20-something years ago. The world of Buddhas. In the world of Buddhas, or Buddhahood, it is the highest state of life. The Sanskrit word Buddha means the awakened one, the one who has awakened. A Buddha is someone enlightened to the mystic law, the wonderful law or principle that is the basis of all life and happenings in the universe. To save all people in a later day from suffering, Nichiren manifested the world of Buddhahood in his own life as proof that an ordinary human being can do so. The world of Buddhahood is a life condition rich in noble virtue, such as wisdom, courage, compassion, life force, happiness, and good fortune. It emerges when individuals awaken to the reality that the source and foundation of their lives is the mystic law. Buddha works constantly to enable all people to manifest the same world of Buddhahood. All of us naturally possess the world of Buddhahood, but we do not know how to bring that forth. For that reason, the Daishonin inscribed the Gohonzon, the object of devotion as an embodiment of the world of Buddhahood he had attained. He did this to provide a means for all to bring forth Buddhahood in their own lives. The world of Buddhahood, the state that Nichiren manifested in essence, is the law of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. When we believe in the Gohonzon and strive to chant for our own happiness and that of others, we can tap the world of Buddhahood within us and express it in our lives. The world of Buddhahood is absolute happiness gained from basing one's life on chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo to the Gohonzon, whatever our circumstances. Those who have activated their Buddhahood will not fear nor are scared of anything or anyone. It is a condition of courage, genuine peace, absolute happiness, and enlightenment. In summary, the 10 worlds are our own life conditions which we may experience every day, and they are interchangeable. They are not locked. They are not fixed. For example, you may be in the world of hell if some immediate family passes away. However, if you found that you have just won the lottery, then you rise to the world of heaven. Later on, when you walk out in the street, hit by a car, and are seriously injured and in severe pain, then you are back to the world of hell. So in our everyday life, every day, we are moving up and down in these worlds. A serial killer belongs to the world of animal. But when he sees his own children and has great love for them, he is in the world of bodhisattvas. As we can see, our life conditions in these lower worlds are mostly triggered by outward circumstances. Knowing that these worlds are not permanent and are interchangeable, we can make sincere effort to change them by chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, which bring forth our wisdom, courage, compassion, life force, meaning Buddhahood. Once we are elevated to Buddhahood, we see things and feel differently. For example, I was very, very, very angry with someone, and then I chanted to the Gohonzon to release my anger. That time I was in the world of Asura, anger. After chanting for 3 hours, my wisdom came forth. I felt differently, and I realized that it was me who was at fault. So my anger subsided. I was in peace again, and I'm going to the world of humanity. The more we practice Nichiren Buddhism, and the more we chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo day in and day out, our life condition is elevated to Buddhahood. For example, every day when we do Gongyo, our life condition is elevated to Buddhahood. And when we base our life on Buddhahood, when we face challenges, mishaps, or difficulties, we know that they are not permanent, and we have the power to change bad into good. Another reason for me to talk about the 10 worlds is for us to be aware of which worlds of life condition or life conditions we are in our daily life. With this knowledge, when we are in the lower worlds and feel miserable, we would be alert and could quickly identify and start to chant, to take action, to change and improve. Remember, I emphasized on the words change and improve. Now, a lot of us do not know what kind of life conditions we are. We just know we are miserable, I'm not happy, blah, 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 blah. So we don't know that we are in this condition. Take me, for example. Because of my chaotic family situations when I was a child, coupled with the hardships in my marriage, raising 2 troubled children, problems with managing my businesses, it was so hard, and I was not able to cope. Without knowing it, it all turned into anger. I had become a very angry person. Everyone was afraid and scared of me, but I wasn't even aware of this until one day I went for a haircut by a professional stylist. After going home, I looked in the mirror. I was not happy, and I started to cut my own hair myself. Then a family member came to me and said, "Lydia, why are you so angry with yourself?" I did not realize that at all. It was at that moment that I knew that my life was dominated by anger, making myself and other people around me miserable. Knowing my dominated life condition, the world of Asura, I chanted to the Gohonzon to release my anger. Without knowing it, for so many years, I was in the world of anger and I didn't know it until somebody told me. So I chanted to the Gohonzon to release my anger. So much so that I imagined myself being bound by heavy ropes, so tight that I could not breathe. Then I imagined a pair of scissors coming from the sky and cut off all the ropes that bound me. As soon as the ropes are cut off, I felt free and easy, and I took a deep breath. Every day I did this process, and my anger has subsided, and I have now become a very happy person. Therefore, while studying Buddhist theories, it is important that we know how to apply the theories to our daily life to help ourselves and others. Otherwise, these theories are just empty words. There's no meaning to it. They are just words. When we know that we are able to change our life conditions, first of all, we have to know what our life conditions are. And if they are in the lower worlds, then we know that we can change and elevate our life condition by chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. An infinite power will well from within. As a result, we are able to break through any deadlock and will be able to attain absolute happiness. So,